Welcome, everybody. If you are new here, this is not your average run-of-the-mill ROM hack. Everything is changed in depth. There is a massive list of move buffs and changes, over 600 of them in the description below on this Google Sheet that you see me sharing right now. You can see all sorts of useful information on here, as well as Pokemon buffs and changes, move buffs and changes, type chart, abilities. Everything you could ever want is available down below in the description. So check that out, especially the moves. Those are super important. As you can see here, there are tons of new moves, and then every move that you know and love is probably buffed and changed in some regard. Only a small minority of moves are left unchanged in this game. But with that being said, we've got Chandelure, some great buffs. Like I said, if you are new here and you might be looking at the base stat total and being like, "What the hell? Why is Chandelure's base stat total so high?" In this ROM hack, there are a lot of new pseudo legendaries and something I like to call semi pseudo legendaries Pokemon that are 575 base stat total. Three-stage Pokemon like Nidoking, Nidoqueen, Magmortar, Electivire, Mamoswine, Slaking, Walrein, Crocodile, Klinklang, and Chandelure, and many more to come are semi-pseudo-legendaries, and there's also two-stage Pokemon like Arcanine, Exeggutor, Camerupt, and Abomasnow, and even single-stage Pokemon like Tropius that have this base stat total of 575, which is, again, 25 less. Why is the music so damn quiet? Man, there's barely any music. Hold on, let me turn this up a little bit. It's like super quiet. I guess I just picked this music. Anyway, sorry. Back on topic. Shandy, all right? I'm going to get past the base stat total, but the main reason is because I wanted it to be relatively bulky. It has a great SPDEF stat. Logically, I try to keep my buffs flavorful in the sense that they fit with what the Pokemon is, what it looks like, what it does. Yeah, some people might be like, okay, all Chandelure needs is some speed. Yeah, would it be really good with 100 base speed or 105 base speed or 120 base speed? Of course it would. Does that make any sense whatsoever? No, not in my opinion. I would say the maximum base speed you could give it would be 95, and that would be pushing it in my opinion. I think 85 is a very fair speed stat for it. It can still run Choice Scarf, and it also has priority moves in the form of Ignite and Spook, which are Fire and Ghost special priority moves that it can take advantage of to move first. And of course, in-game, all of these buffs and changes are balanced for in-game use. But yeah, Chandelure, great abilities, Levitate and Luminescent. Luminescent is a very flavorful ability for Chandelure that gives it a 10% accuracy boost to all of its moves. That also stacks with the buffed Wide Lens, which gives a 1.15 or 15% boost. So, for example, the moves Inferno Parade and Inferno are 70% accurate moves that are 130 base power and always burn. With Wide Lens equipped and Luminescent active, let me do the math real quick. 0.15, you get 88.5% accurate on those two moves, and those are both stab, so those are very strong. Also, yeah, like I said, Chandelure has much better bulk, 75, 90, 125. This music is way too quiet. I'm going to play Celestial Tower or something. Way too quiet. You can find them there, so I guess this is fine. Okay, now this is too loud. Come on. All right. Sorry, everybody. A little bit of a mulligan there. Great abilities again. Levitate, Luminescent. You do have access to infinite usability capsules that you can easily switch between. So you can switch between Levitate or Luminescent depending on the situation. Levitate will be useless a lot of the time because not every boss fight is going to have a ground type or ground type move that you need your specific Chandelure to switch in on or stay in on. That's not always going to happen every boss fight. Not even close. So it's a situational ability, but it obviously is very good. Fire Ghost with that ground immunity is actually a pretty good defensive typing. You are immune to normal, fighting, and ground. You no longer 4x resist bug because Ghost no longer resists bug, but having that bug resist is still very valuable in a hack where bug types are incredibly strong offensively and have been buffed in many different ways. You also have other good resists in the form of Grass, Ice, Poison, Steel, Fairy, and of course Bug. So those are very good resists. You do have a decent amount of weaknesses, but with Levitate you only have Water, Rock, Ghost, and Dark, so that's not bad at all. And you have tons of coverage, of course, to hit the things that you're weak to, as all Pokemon do. Strength Sap is a beautiful move that Chandelure can use. It does have a solid base, above average actually, base 90 defense. It's a good tanky defense stat, and then that great 125 SPDEF with Strength Sap and 75 HP is great for Chandelure. Logically, it fits very well. If you read the Pokedex, it talks about absorbing spirits and stuff. So, you know, for the same reasons that Pokemon like Jellicent and other ghost types like, I don't know, I think Cursula gets it, and a couple other guys get Strength Sap that are ghost types. So I've been giving it to a lot more ghost types. It's really nice for them to have. It also has stuff like Giga Drain via Tutor, which is nice. But and it has tons of other great coverage. So it has Aura Sphere, Focus Blast, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, all kinds of really Dazzling Gleam, all kinds of useful stuff that you can check out in the description to see how those moves are buffed or changed, because they probably are. Acid Armor gives you +3 defense, which is really nice for bulkier sets. You have recover for earlier in the game. Lampent. So as with all semi-pseudos, they all evolve at 20 and 40. So 20 will be just in time for Hala, and then 40 is, of course, probably around post Guzma first fight. before Totem Mimikyu, somewhere between then. So you'll have it for Mimikyu most likely, and you'll have it for, all Plumeria and all the stuff that happens after that. But it's great because Lampent is not that much slower than Chandelure. And then with a Violet, it's significantly bulkier than Chandelure. And it's not that much weaker. 115 is still a good special attack stat, a very good special attack stat. And you also have a different ability. So Flash Fire might actually be more useful for your team than Luminescent is. Luminescent is great. So Luminescent, you can abuse stuff like Searing Shot, which becomes 100% accurate. Will-O-Wisp becomes 99% accurate. Thunder becomes 85 times 1.1 is like 93. Yeah, 93.5. So Thunder and Focus Blast become 93.5 base accuracy. Fire Blast becomes 99% accurate. Flash Cannon becomes 99% accurate, and that's very strong, 110 base power. You got all types of beautiful things you can take advantage of with Luminescent, aside from, of course, the really powerful wide lens, Spectral Beam, and Inferno. You also have Fire Vortex, which is 130 base power and 85% accurate, so that becomes 93% accurate with it's even stronger than Fire Blast, but you are trading 5% accuracy, and the fact that Fire Blast is an earlier move that you learn via TM, and that it's infinitely reteachable, while of course the level up moves you teach them and then you can't reteach them until you get the movie learner at the end of the game, which is by design. It makes it a little bit more difficult to balance your moves. But bulky Chandelure and Lampent sets really appreciate Strength Sap, Ominous Wind, and Mystical Fire. Ominous Wind and Mystical Fire are both moves that always drop the opponent's attack and special attack stats. So Chandelure has a lot of moves that it wants. It wants the priority moves, it wants the healing moves, it wants the covers moves, and so you really have to be smart about what moves you teach it. And I would probably go, depending on my other teammates, depending on my IVs, depending on my personal playstyle, depending on the point of the game I'm at, all kinds of different variables would play into what abilities and moves and stuff that you choose to use for that specific boss fight. And you can easily switch your EV spreads around with the infinite EV training items, so you can run max HP, max Spadef for one fight, max HP, max defense for the next, max speed, max special attack for the next one. You can speed creep specific Pokemon. You have all kinds of great customizability with Chandelure, and that goes for all Pokemon in this hack. At level 70, you get the pretty busted Omni boosting Z move and Spectrify, which most Ghost types have. That gives you +1 to all your stats, and that also turns the opponent into a part Ghost type. It adds the Ghost typing to their type, so that's more of a secondary effect, though. The main use of that is the Z move, and you can use that with Stored Power, which also gives you +1 special attack. You also have Calm Mind and Nasty Plot. Keep in mind, setup moves not only have had their PP nerfed, but it's also a lot more difficult to pull off setup moves in this hack because of all of the anti-setup stuff that I put in place, such as Priority Haze, Topsy-Turvy, and Heart Swap, and Roar, and Whirlwind. So all kinds of stuff will counter setup, so it's not as easy, but it's still very, very good. For certain fights especially. Spectral Beam and Blast Bomb are absolute nukes. Those are 150 base power moves that drop your special attack stat by 2. So you have like the priority stuff, the nuke moves. You got all types of beautiful moves that you should be choosing between on Chandelure. Parting Shot's also great on bulkier sets. You've got dual screens, which you could use. You've got the Hex, which would be good with Will-O-Wisp and stuff. All kinds of fun things, all right? I'm going to leave the video off there, though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think Chandelure, vibe-wise, fits the Semi-Pseudo title pretty well. And I also just wanted it to be decently quick and still have good bulk, especially on the special side, and I think it warranted the base stat total. I think it fits right alongside Pokemon like Klinklang, Crocodile, Walrein, and all the other ones I mentioned. So yeah, thanks so much for listening, everybody, and I'll be back for more Unova buffs and changes coming up. Peace.